Welcome to Milk Market Tidbit for the January federal milk marketing data that the USDA released this week. This is Dr. Lawrence Jones, and I'm recording this on Saturday, February the 15th. So the big overview on the federal milk marketing data is that the statistical uniform prices were about $21.23 across the nation, weighted for how big the different orders are, and that's up about 64 cents from last month. Now, both Class 3 and Class 4 came back into the federal order, but not totally, even though there should have been no depooling. Now, in the future, Class 3 and Class 4 have very little spread, which means depooling will be really light. Usually there's a 75-cent spread to make depooling worthwhile. Month over month, federal milk was up because of these classes coming back in, and production, I think, was up slightly, and fat continues to come up. So here are statistical uniform prices. As I said, they were 21.23 last month, 20.58. Very strong across the southeast. Those are all 23 and 25. Everywhere else is above 20. What I like to look at is how they actually change, because that's probably more meaningful. We should have had no depooling, because again, there's only 40 cents difference between 3 and 4, so depooling shouldn't have happened, even though it did. Class 3 was up to $1.72, which is why Minnesota, Wisconsin was up $1.49, and Class 1 was down $1, which is why the Southeast has all got negative numbers in front of it. So this is how the settlements were on Friday. So Class 3 has come up over top of Class 4 through about April. Then they kind of run together. Then Class 4 takes the lead again when we get into beyond June. Overall, the spread is 44 cents for the two different classes, and there should be no depooling, all the way through September. Then there might be a little bit starting in October if the futures hold as they are right now. How did milk change? So it came up about 7% across the nation, but again, a lot of that is because of the difference in depooling. A couple of things I like to look at is Northeast was up 1.8%. Now these ones that were down, it's a little bit interesting. I have to get my head wrapped around why they were down. So this is a change in Class 4 utilization, since that's the biggest one that was being depooled. You'll see that California brought in a bunch of milk, and Arizona, New Mexico, Texas all brought in a fair amount. Otherwise, not a big change. And then the opposite is Class 3, but it also came in, and again, California brought in 4.9, Order 33 brought in 6, the Central Order brought in 8, and the Northwest brought in 6. So again, lots of Class 3 that came back in. So here's the big picture on pounds per day. We can see total has gone up. We can see Class 3 has gone up. And Class 4 has gone up a little bit. And again, a lot of that is due to that depooling. So to look at the month-over-month numbers, I always come back and say, what the USDA kind of show, overall. And usually January is up about 1.9% over December. So my prediction for January is going to be that 1.8 month over month, which will give us 19 billion pounds of milk, which is flat with last year. So I'm predicting no change year over year. And again, there's a lot of wiggle room in this, and so ask for forgiveness with about 0.5%. We had heavy Class 4 depooling. Here's the max that we had back here in 2020, and we're way off of that on pounds per day. Class 3 is coming back up. Again, we have this max here in 2023, which is when we had that new cheese plant online. We've almost hit it a couple times, but we're about 81% of that at this moment. We've got about 46 million pounds difference between the max and where we are for January. Class utilization was still around 29%. We've been in that kind of area. Again, you can see the Southeast is very strong, well over 76%. And Minnesota, Wisconsin, the lowest at 7.8. Fat values continued to come up. They were 442 last month, so they came up just about one tick. Northwest is always the highest at 461. Florida is over 4. That's absolutely amazing. And we only get protein values in about 7 of the orders, but they're still very strong, with the Northwest the highest at 351. And then Northeast is always the lowest at 332. So this next week, we've got a holiday on Monday. We've got a global dairy trade on Tuesday. We're going to get the National Dairy Sales Report and advanced prices on Thursday, a day late. And the milk production report will come out on Friday after the close. So the next milk market tidbit will be for that milk production report.